Oh, I'm slipping up here. I don't have any of the audio running. I don't have, boy, this is just one of those weird days, everybody. Sorry about that. Oh, yep. It's saying it's 75. Drink a hot cup of coffee. You'll be fine. I know that sounds really weird, but that's actually true. As long as the inside of your body is not going into cold shock from cold water, so warmer beverages actually work better. I know that really, really, really sounds odd. I know. Anyhow, Ann Beal from Getting Better with Ann Beal, that radio station that I did. Good morning, Elegant. Um, is questioning some of my original statement on another media platform that we use, and it was edited, so it ripped out the. Facebook is now editing me. Apparently, I can't post anything without them authorizing it first. Well, they changed it, not spell checked it. They changed it. Um, there's a lot of benefits to your soil by using the Green Wizard system and understanding the organics of deep microbial life in your soil, aerating, allowing water, allowing evaporation, which is a natural cooling system. That's how your air conditioner works. It's been tested. Go look up Gabe Brown. He actually went out with one of those infrared meter readings and showed the difference. One farm to another. 100 and some plus degrees on uncovered soil. When he went back across the street to his farm and took the same temperature reading with the same machine, 20 to 30 degrees lower. Yeah, because as evaporation happens, it's a natural cooling cycle. If your soil is not exposed, we're not causing the heat. Just like inside a car, everybody, when your windows are closed, which is just what you're doing to your soil when it's nothing but hard packed clay because there's nothing covering it, it heats up just like the inside of your car. So it may be only 80 degrees outside, but just like your topsoil and your cement, and they're warning everybody now about their dogs walking around in this and burning their feet and this, that, and the other, what have you. Right. Clay is doing exactly the same thing. Ignorance isn't bliss here. As you allow more clay to develop in your yard, you're causing the heat problem. Now, look, I'm not telling you you have to go out and follow the exact recipe from the Green Wizard's Guide and do all these steps. You lazy people. My system's actually less than the chemical system. Start adding this up. All you got to do is wash the chemicals off. That's all I'm telling you. It'll make a difference. It'll make an impact in your soil. It'll also make a difference in this heat index, everybody. Look, you're not the one putting the chemicals down. Okay. Can you stop the chemtrails? Can you stop rain from falling in your yard? Can you stop cars from driving by your yard spewing gas fumes all over your grass? The chemicals are there, everybody. We got to wash this stuff away. As we wash this stuff away and the yard expands, the grass expands, and the clay goes away, and the topsoil starts to expand, our soils will be covered like being under an umbrella in a heat wave during all this sunshine. The person under the umbrella is actually not as hot because the sun's not beating on them. But what happens on the sand? What happens on clay? What happens on cement? What happens on blacktop? This is what you're doing in your gardens, in your yards. So all this heat that everybody's complaining about, chemtrails, cause and effect. Using chemicals in your yard, in your garden, cause and effect. NPK treatments in your farms, cause and effect. All of this is affecting everything. People, and I'm looking for the simplest way to explain this, and my easiest way of explaining it is a car. In the inside of a car, it may only be 70 degrees outside, but the inside of your car can reach temperatures over 100. That's why dashboards break. That's why, I mean, just think about this. Honestly, think about this. Now, when you have clay in your yard and you have hard compaction in your yard and in your gardens, what's going on underneath? It's baking like in a car, doing exactly the same thing. The microbial life can't exist in it. So it goes deeper, and you have more clay and more compaction and more everything. Watering is the worst thing you can do this time of year when we're at 90 and 100 degrees and you're out there sprinkling away in the sunshine. It's like putting a magnifying glass on everything, and it's like burning ants with a magnifying glass. Spraying water in the sunshine is terrible for your grass. Cutting your grass in this heat is terrible for your grass. That's why I cut so early this morning. I'm still at under 70. We hit temperatures of 80 plus. Don't cut your grass. All you're going to do is cause burn spots that are going to be there for a week, if not longer, while your grass is trying to recover from that. You don't water and you don't cut grass over certain temperatures during certain times of day. But the overall effect, everything that we're talking about, everything that the Green Wizard Guide is about, it's about fixing these problems. If you got neighbors that are using these chemicals, they need to see this book. They need to understand what the cause and effect is. And it may not even be them doing it in their yard and thinking about it. It's the excess washing into your yard because your yard's soaking everything up. So you're going to end up with this burn trail right around your property line where the food web's working and all their chemicals are washing into your yard like a big bucket because your yard's going to soak up everything. I mean, I went out again this morning just to double check, just to make sure, just to check on my garlic bed. That thing is so saturated full of water, and it didn't even rain last night. It was because of the fog and the temperature drop overnight. Self-watering gardens. Come on, people. Think this through. Your yard will take care of itself if you let the organic matter and you let organic life, and you let Mother Nature work her process. Every time you put a chemical over your yard, this is the end result. Now we've got all these super high heats. Everybody's in trouble. Cause and effect. When you rip out a bunch of trees and you pave that sucker over, how hot does it get sitting in the sun? That's the first area that melts down when the snow hits. What happens when you do that to your yard and you turn it all to clay? But everything under the soil, yeah, it's baking too. You're burning up the worms. You're burning up every plant you've got in your garden. Everything is suffering. You have to put armor down. You've got to have a cover crop. You've got to have something covering your soil at all times so that it can breathe, so that it can air condition itself, so that it can thrive and bring these overall temperatures down. Now, some of you are going to understand that. Some of you are going to be giggling away as you're walking through your nice, cool, shady grass today. While your neighbor who cut down all his trees because he doesn't want the leaves in his gutters, His yard's burning up, and he's out there with a hose trying to spray everything down. Oh, my grass is going to burn up. It's just so hot today. Yep, yep, yep. Lack of knowledge, everybody. The knowledge isn't being passed on. Your neighbor needs this book. The landlord needs this book. People need to just have an understanding. It's not that they're stupid and wearing a tinfoil hat like I do most of the time. No, 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 no. The information didn't get passed along. We're going to lose this knowledge. Thank God somebody wrote it down. We're going to lose this knowledge and lose this kind of understanding if word doesn't get out about this book. I know. I'm preaching and preaching and preaching. I don't know what else to do. I can't fill a stadium full of people that have an understanding. I could probably fill it full of a bunch of trolls and Antifa members. Giggle, giggle. Because everybody wants to throw rocks without the understanding. You can't believe how many people are still saying, you can't put carbon in soil with a plant. That doesn't work. That's not true. Because they have lack of understanding. They're not stupid. They just don't understand how nature works. It's a lack of understanding. It's a lack of knowledge that they attempted to pass on. And it's slipping through their grasp. It's there, but they're not under the understanding. Because this NPK, come on, they're still selling Roundup, and it kills everything it comes in contact with, and probably will for the next 100 years. It's that toxic. It's that deadly. And the easiest, all they had to do is change the ownership, and they're still selling it. Instead of being put out of business. Okay, back to the heat. If your soil has soaked up everything and it's working like an air conditioner, and you're walking across the air conditioner, it's hot outside, and it might be 80, but the temperature at your feet, if you're luckily barefoot, like I like to be all the time, if you're barefoot, that's 20 to 30 degrees cooler, everybody. And I'm walking on it. I go to my neighbor's yard where all that clay is thriving. It's like walking on cement. It's like walking on blacktop. It's hot. I don't know how that grass is surviving. And in most cases, it's not. This is the burn time of year. I'm going to watch my entire city, flat out, my entire city will turn brown these next 3 days. Not my yard. So let's put a stop to the heat index. Let's get aware of what's going on here. Let's open the soil back up. Let's fix this problem. The only way we're going to really is to change the powers that be. But that doesn't mean you can't fix your yard and start the process. Because it takes you, then your neighbor, then their neighbor, then their neighbor, and things will change. Got to go that direction. Look at it from that point of view, everybody. If you want to make this change, start yourself. And make sure everybody reads this book and has an understanding themselves that everything under the clay is just like being in a hot car. So, of course, we're going to have high heat index everywhere. Yeah, the humidity is so bad because the water can't absorb into the soil. It's got nowhere to go but back into the air. Da-da-da-da. Anyhow, that was the only reason I came on. Somebody had asked. Somebody had a really good question about this. So I wanted to prove it out. Wanted to talk it out so that everybody understood. And then I'm going to shut this off. I'll be back a little bit because I want this one to just run and be out there for everybody to hear. So Those of you that are here, and I'm not trying to ignore anybody, just wanted to get this information out. I will turn this right back on. But yeah, get this book out, everybody. You're causing your own heat problems. We'll see you.